Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be a huge one because the trailer to analysis document for GTA 6 has just came out, which has a ton of character information, a ton of story information, and a ton of GTA 6 information. So grab your popcorn and your drinks, sit down because this is going to be long. This video is going to be divided into sections. You can skip to any part you like, but I would highly suggest that you watch the video so you can kind of support the channel too. So our first segment is characters. Here we have Jason DeWall, who is our protagonist. Here are some things about him. Desires an easy life but finds things only getting harder. Raised around grifters and crooks, enlisted in the US Army to shake off his troubled teens, ended up in the Keys working for the local drug runners, picks Lucia up from the Leonida Penitentiary, sees meeting Lucia as potentially the best or worst thing to happen to him, knows how'd he like their story to go, but the outcome remains uncertain, seen in multiple body states with various haircuts, beard growth stages, and clothing styles. Interesting information about him? His last name DeWall is of French origin, meaning of the valley, possibly named after William Pope DeWall, the first civilian governor of Florida. DeWall Street is also a major street in Key West in real life. Our second protagonist is Lucia Caminos. Here's some information about her. From Liberty City, taught to fight by her father as soon as she could walk, jailed in Leonida Penitentiary for defending her family, and freed by sheer luck. Driven to build the good life her mom dreamed of in Liberty City, believes a life with Jason could be her way out. Fully committed to her plan, no matter what it takes, seen in her iconic gold dress from trailer 1, a variety of hairstyles, makeup looks, and outfits. Called Lou by Jason. Is that their love name? I don't know. Her last name Caminos is of Spanish origin, being the plural of camino, which means road, path, or way. Her third character is a supporting character called Cal Hampton. Here's some details about him. Friend of Jason and fellow associate of Brian, feels safest at home snooping on Coast Guard comms with beers and private browser tabs. Convinced the psychopaths are in charge. Thrives in America's low-tide content with casual paranoia. Loyal companion, though, Jason has bigger plans. Then we have Draquan Priest, who is another supporting character. More hustler than gangster, broke into music aiming to make it big, moved from booking acts at Booby's strip club to focusing on only Raw Records. Signed the real Demes under the label, now targeting the broader Vice City scene beyond the strip club gigs. Known as Dre and D in the September 2022 leaked footage. That's an interesting name, considering that we know Dr. Dre exists in the HD universe. He was probably born in 1998, 28 years old by 2026, as implied by a tattoo on his hand. Moving to our next character, Raul Batista. Seasoned bank robber with confidence, charm, and cunning. Hunts talent for high risk, high reward scores driven by his recklessness that sooner or later will cause his crew to either fully commit themselves or back out before things get too far. Possibly of Cuban heritage, as he is seen next to an object with a Cuban flag on a boat he is on. Seen pulling off the Sin Frontera National Bank heist with Jason and Lucia and the rest of his crew. His last name, Batista, is of Spanish origin, meaning Baptist, in reference to John the Baptist. Our next character is Booby Ick, owner of the Jack Hearts, Vice City legend who turns street smarts into legitimate empire, real estate, a strip club, and a recording studio. Deeply invested in a partnership with Draquan at Only Raw Records, mentioned by Draquan in the September 2022 leaked footage. Possibly inspired by the likes of Ted Lucas, Luther Campbell, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, as well as Marion Hugh, Suge Knight, known for co-founding Death Row Records with famous rappers in the 90s like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. He was also associated with various illegal activities and organized crimes with the mob Peru Bloods, set of the Blood Gang. His last name, Ick, might be a reference to Hurricane Ick that hit Florida in 2008. Moving on to our next character, Brian Heder, classic key drug runner from the golden age of smuggling. Owner of Brian's Boat Works and Marina, still moves product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lori. Leaves the dirty work to others, lets Jason live rent-free if he helps with local shakedowns, and drops by for Lori's sangria occasionally. Mentioned in the world events list from the September 2022 leaked footage. Our next character is Lori, Brian's third wife, heart-shaped tattoo on her chest with Brian's name written on it, mentioned as making sangria that Jason sometimes has. Last name is possibly Heather due to her marriage to Brian. Our next characters are a duo, Real Demis being Baya Luxie and Roxy. Baya Lux and Roxy make up Real Demez, high school friends turned rap duo, build buzz with viral videos and catchy hooks, Perel's street hustle into rap revenue, breakout single with DWNPLY, signed to Only Raw Records after 5 years, redesigned and debuted in Trailer 1 at 0:46 minutes, likely based on the city girls from Miami who got popular after they signed up as artists for the Quality Control record label. Now, our next character is the police officer seen in the trailer. I did talk about him in my first Trailer 2 analysis video where I said he might be the villain, and it seems that he possibly is an antagonist. He seems one of the game's antagonists, present in 2 scenes in Trailer 2, which appears to be mission cutscenes, presumably a corrupt cop. Next is Brian's pilot, no voice lines yet, seen in 4 screenshots, and Brian's video. Goes to the bar with Cal and Jason, plays mini golf with Cal, so he potentially is an important side character. Then we have Jason's unnamed neighbor, seen in Trailer 2, knows Jason and says hi to him during gameplay, lives in Key Lento, wears distinct glittery makeup, has a car with unique paw prints, holding a small dog, most likely a Chihuahua, and that is it for our character segment. Now we are going to move on to our story and lore details segment. So here comes our plot. Jason lives rent-free in a house owned by older criminal Brian Heder in Key Lento. In exchange for he assists Brian in extorting local businesses and drug smuggling along with his friend Cal Hampton. At some point, Jason picks Lucia up from prison after she was arrested for something to do with fighting for her family. Lucia performs community service and has to wear an ankle monitor while they both live at the Key Lento safe house. At some point, Lucia's ankle monitor is removed. Jason and Lucia leave Key Lento after Brian informs him that an unknown group knows his name and address. It is likely that they flee to Port Gallahorn and use a room in the Starlit Motel as a safe house, carrying out a spree of robberies against local businesses such as Hank's Waffle and Uncle Jack's Liquor, until something happens forcing them out of the Starlit Motel, leading them into Vice City. In Vice City, they begin to work with criminals Bubiek, Draquan Priest, and the rapper duo Real Demez, who are all connected to Jack of Hearts Strip Club. They also work with experienced bank robbers Raul Batista and pull off several heists. So we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Rage Improvements, which is Rockstar's game engine. Improved volumetric clouds, improved cloth simulation, higher quality hair rendering and physics, improved ray trace reflection compared to Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced and Grand Theft Auto 6 Trailer 1, which means less simmering. Improved global illumination compared to Trailer 1, which helps the skin detail be more visible. Light also bounces from ray trace reflective surfaces, real-time audio reflections, improved micro facet normal mapping and specular maps, improved glass rendering along with the glass shattering effects, improved liquor shaders compared to GTA 5, more realistic and cinematic vehicle explosions with the car being impacted on the part where the explosion occurs, advanced gameplay animations as seen in their patents. Moving on to our next segment, which is missions. While Jason Duvall fixes some leaks at his slit house in Key Lento, Brian Heder shows up to tell him to collect protection money from local businesses. Jason assaults a cashier at a general store in Key Lento, taking the money from the register. Jason helps Cal Hampton and Brian's pilot to load a mammoth dodo plane with drugs at Brian's marina, while Jason and Cal hang out at the Rusty Anchor. 2 locals come to confirm Jason. Jason and Cal walk out of Brian's boatworks and marina holding duffel bags. Lori Heder and Brian hand Jason a 9mm pistol. Jason picks up Lucia from the Leonida Penitentiary. Lucia says to Jason that the Key Lento house is just the start for them. Lucia and Jason are intimate on the bed inside their house. Lucia picks up trash from the side of the road with other parolees as part of her community service. This may take place in-game equivalent of Key West as suggested by Patch in the female officer's police outfit that looks similar to the real-life Key West 1. Lucia, Jason, Cal, and other friends hang out at the Rusty Anchor bar in Key Lento. Lucia and Jason hang out near the Rusty Anchor, lounging and having drinks together. Cal asks the protagonist inside the workshop of Brian Marina if he can hook up with their friends. Then Jason returns to his house in Key Lento, loading the 9mm pistol as he tells Lucia, "You and me, Lou, we've got this." Brian tells Jason at Brian's Marina that they, presumably the police, have Jason's full information, name, address, everything. This aspect probably prompts Jason and Lucia to flee to Port Gallahorn. Jason rides a red Liberty City Cycles Avarice motorcycle somewhere while a Dodo plane flies overhead in the same direction. Then we have our chapter 2 of the game, presumably set in Port Gallahorn. Jason slams a man into a white Albany Emperor while a fire burns in the background outside the Starlet Motel. Jason chases a black Fifister Astron carrying 2 gangsters while riding a Maibatsu Sanchez motorcycle. The gangsters are pursuing Lucia, who's driving a green convertible, probably a Willard, a brand inspired by Book. As the car appears to be inspired by a 1991 Book Rita during the chase, Jason leaps from the Sanchez onto the back of Lucia's convertible. Lucia leaps into Jason's arm inside the room at the Starlet Motel. Lucia hides from an armed man at night while gripping the 9mm pistol, likely within the Starlet Motel based on the door's design. While sitting in a parked weapon SUV, Jason says to Lucia, "If we're gonna do this, we're doing it right." The scene may take place near the Hank's Waffle as the parking lot looks similar. Then we are on our chapter 3, set in Grass Rivers. Jason pursues an airborne through the Grass Rivers in a Buzzard attack chopper while Brian controls the door gun. Jason drives Brian through a rural area, likely Grass Rivers, in Brian's rapid car Cara while wearing a body armor. That's all we know of chapter 3. Then we have chapter 4, which takes place in our beloved Vice City. Jason helps Lucia escape from the police through the window of an apartment complex resembling the Rock Ridge Venture apartments seen in the September 2022 leaked footage. As Lucia climbs down on the security bar, she lands on her knees with her hands braced against the asphalt. She's notably wearing the same outfit featured in Trailer 1's Port Gallahorn scenes and our Trailer 2 artwork where Lucia's knee is scratched, a wound possibly caused by her fall. Lucia and Jason meet aboard a yacht near the in-game equivalent of Miami's Venetian Islands before heading out to the 919 club where they dance together. Lucia is wearing a golden sequin dress similar to be the one from Trailer 1. Jason and Lucia's friend take a selfie with them, likely inside the 919 club, as Jason and Lucia wear the same outfits seen in other Trailer 2 scenes set there. 2 of Draquan's Priest friends meet with Jason and Draquan, asking Priest if Jason is a Fed. 3 presumably the San for San Haitian gang members, one notably muscular, clear off camera in an apartment lobby from La Perle. Jason executes a drive-by from an orange Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire outside the Boardwalk Hotel, in-game equivalent of Ocean Drive from South Beach, Miami. Jason and Draquan react with surprise to something on Dre's phone, near the in-game equivalent of Bayside Marketplace from Miami. Then, Lucia shouts like "Brab, brab, brab" at the protagonist, probably in Crosstown as suggested by the Metro Mover station in the background, which resembles Miami's school board station from Town Square near Overtown. Jason pilots a boat as Lucia opens fire on a Whitestone police helicopter hovering overhead. Jason and Lucia drag a safe behind a Bravado pickup truck in what appears to be the in-game's equivalent of Venetian Islands, a clear nod to similar scenes in Fast and Furious 5 and Dukes of the Hazzard. Lucia and Jason and Raul Batista rob the San Frontera National Bank in downtown Vice City. Jason and Lucia handle crowd control before engaging in a police shootout with Raul outside the building. Lucia later blasts 2 Whitestone police cars with a grenade launcher from what appears to be a damaged bus. Lucia jumps from an Avarice motorcycle onto the back of a flatbed truck carrying the Pagasi Tempesta, the truck likely being en route from Port Vice City. Lucia is attacked by a muscular woman while in the gear bay of a plane flying over in the in-game equivalent of Brickell Key. Here are some more details, and this is unknown. Jason and Lucia hold hands outside an unidentified location. A couple of police officers and a chief raid an unknown building. The police chief has a conversation with another officer, stating that they, the police, have to protect each other. Jason and Lucia are intimate on a bed inside an unknown place. Alright guys, moving on to our next segment, which is factions. The first gang we have is San for San, Haitian gang from La Perle. Then we have the final chapter MC, motorcycle gang from Amberesia, founded in 1982 as seen in the screenshots. Then we have a unnamed Port Gallahorn Gang, the drug-connected NPCs with tattoos showing bat wings, and an AK-47. These are the three factions, gangs we know about. Of course, the police itself is another faction. We're going to move on to our weapons segment. First, we're going to look into our manufacturers: Shrewsbury, Winchester Parody, Duke, Capo, Hawk and Little, which sounds like Heckler and Koch, since they also mentioned they made HK MP5, same as GTA 5, so it's a parody of Heckler and Koch. Then we have a unknown Glock brand parody and Stronghold Ammunition. Alright, so we have our weapons list now, and this includes every weapon we've seen so far, including weapons from Trailer 1. So firstly, we have our Glock Hybrid M1911 variant, Beretta Firestorm 380, Beretta 92 FS, Beretta M9. Then we have our revolvers, which is a Colt Python submachine gun with a Heckler & Koch MP5. Then we have our shotguns with a double-barrel shotgun, Browning Citori, Mossberg 590, and a Benelli M4. And our rifles, we have multiple AR-15 variants, an M4A1 Soapmod Block 2, a police-issued M16. We have a Remington 700 BDL, Roger 1022, Springfield Armory M1A. We have our M16 again, likely another variant. Then we have some other side weapons such as a grenade launcher, MK48 machine gun, and a M249 machine gun. We also have a lot of attachments, but we're not going to go into them since it's not that interesting, but you can read it. So our next segment is activities. We have pool, basketball, fishing, hunting, cage fighting, gym workout, American football, kayaking, scuba diving, golf/mini golf, dirt biking, and bikini car wash. That is interesting. Our next segment is safe houses. So we have 2 confirmed safe houses, although it's likely, since we have heard there might be chapters, with each chapter we may have a new safe house. First, we have Brian's house in Key Lento, as seen in Trailer 2. Then we have the Starlit Motel in Port Gallahorn, seen in Trailer 2 and 1, I think, also in the September 2022 leaks. Other safe houses include Apartment in Stockyard, seen in the leaks, and Booby's Resident, seen in the leaks. Alright, now we're going to move on to our favorite segment, which are the vehicles. So, firstly, returning vehicles and sports category, we have the Benefactor Schacter, Bravado Banshee, Dinka Ballista Compact, Dinka Sugoi, Emperor Vectra, Enus Paragon R, Enverdo Conquest, Enverdo Conquest D10, Karen Sultan, the Fister Growler, Obey 8 Drafter, Maibatsu Penumbra. In the muscle category, we have Bravado Gauntlet, Classic Custom, Declease Impaler, SZ, Declease Vigero, ZX Convertible, Empante Phoenix, Rapid Slam Wan, Declease Tulip M100, Declease Tulip. In the super category, we have Pegassi, Tempesta, and sedans. We have Albany Emperor, Albany V STR, Karen Intruder. In the SUVs category, we have Bravado, Dorado, Declease Granger, Dondre Landstalker XL, Canis Mesa, Pegassi Taurus, the Fister Astron, Rapid Electrician, Rapid Contender. In our coupes, we have Ubermacht, Xeon. Motorcycles, we have Liberty City Cycles Auras, Maibatsu Manches, Maibatsu Sanchez, Western Motorcycle Company Zombie Chopper. Then in our off-road, we have Canis Camacho, Declease Yosemite 1500, Declease Walton L35, Karen Rebel, Nagasaki Blazer Lifeguard, Rapid Coursera 4x4. In our off-road, we have vans, which are Boot Waxwell, Zirconium Journey 2. In utility, we have a flatbed trailer. Commercial, we have Joe Built Falcon, MT Alpaca. And pickups, we have Declease Rancher. Emergency, we have Brute Police Riot. Boats, we have Shih Tzu Squallow. Aircrafts, we have Buckingham Nimbus, Buckingham Super Bowl Show, Buckingham Shamal, Buckingham Swift, Buckingham Police Maverick, Jet, Joe Built Mamantis, Mammoth Dodo, Nagasaki Buzzard Attack Choppers, Sea Sparrow, Western Company Duster, and for trains, we have a freight train. Alright, so everything I mentioned right now are just returning vehicles. So get ready for the new stuff that's coming. For our sports and supercar category, we have a Pegassi sports car inspired by a Lamborghini Aventador, Sentinel Classic Cabriolet inspired by a BMW E30, Willard convertible inspired by a Book Rita 1991. We have sedans and coupes, in which we have Albany sedan inspired by a Cadillac Eldorado 1959. Benefactor Saloon inspired by a Mercedes AMG C63S. Benefactor Saloon inspired by a Mercedes-Benz W211. Anna's Cabriolet inspired by a Bentley Azura Declease Tulip M100 donked out car. Albay Saloon inspired by a second generational Audi S7. Willard Sedan inspired by a 6th generation Buick Regal and 4th generation Mazda 3. And our SUVs, we have Bravado SUV inspired by 3rd generation Dodge Durango. Love it. Karen SUV inspired by a 5th generation Toyota RAV4. Rapid SUV inspired by a 5th generation Ford Explorer. And our muscle category, we have Rapid Dominator GT inspired by a Ford Mustang S550. Pickups, we have Rapid Credo inspired by a Ford Ranchero 1971. Bravado Bison inspired by a 5th generation Ram. Bravado pickup truck inspired by a 2nd generation Ram. Canis squatted truck inspired by a Jeep Scrambler CJ8. Motorcycles, we have Princip Alvino V1 inspired by a Ducati Panigale V2. Bicycles, City Bike inspired bicycle recreational Class A motorhome. In our emergency category, we have a Rapid Ghost police car, Buffalo STX police variant, civilian police truck. Then we have our boats. We have Airboard. We have Frostiger 1017 GT inspired boat, Lure Predator S23, Chaparral Premier 400 inspired boat, Chess Kayak, PMP Designs G50 inspired boat, Sea Doe RXT 300 Yamaha, Wave Runner inspired jet ski, new Sea Shark boat, and Whirlwind. Yachts, we have Azumud Atlantis 45 inspired yacht. Vans and buses, we have Benefactor passenger van. We have New Flyer Exclusive inspired bus. Trains, we have Vice City Metro Rail inspired by Hayachi Rail. Aircrafts, we have Tethered Aerostat Radar, System inspired radar, and others we have Mobility Scooter. Oh, that was long. Then we have our new segment, which is District and Cities. It's really long, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to name them. In short, we have areas that are State of Glorina or State of Georgia, Ambrosia County, Marina County, Key Lento, Little Cuba, Mount Calaga, Peacock Bay, Southside Tequista, Tishawaka, and Watson Bay. Here are the neighborhoods and their in real life equivalents. We have Little Cuba, inspired by Little Havana, Peacock Bay, Coconut Grove, Southside, Brickwell and Riverside, Tequista, Brickell, Tishawaka, Opalaka. Alright, moving on to her current mapping build. This is the version 6 community map made by Yanis. We can see the map is pretty huge. Some detailing in the Grass Rivers part, and we can see the airport. What does look interesting is that Port Gallhorn seems small, and I can't see Yorktown or Ambrosia. So this map is obviously going to get updated. The top left corner looks empty. Probably is going to be the State of Glorina. They're going to update this build every month and with every new information we get about the game. Alright, we are at our last segment, which is attention to detail. Now this consists of multiple extra pages, so I've skimmed out the interesting attention to detail parts and kind of made my own segment. So firstly, we have watches. So watches in this game, so we have smartwatches in this game. In one of the store scenes, as Jason walks by the 6-pack of beer, the female NPC's smartwatch lights up the movement he passes, likely triggered by its motion sensor detecting movement nearby. And in other parts of the trailer too, and screenshots, we can see we have a dynamic time display, meaning our watches will display accurate times in-game. Then we have a core multimedia player, which I believe we can control because there's too much detail in it. We have some applications like vehicle assist functions, navigation users, audio, seats, climate control settings, and applications below like a music application, a recorder application, a location application, a search application, and a call application. Alright, then we have our phone. So the front design is inspired by a Galaxy S4, S5 Samsung phone. The back resembles an iPhone X, an interesting combination. There are multiple different phones. Some resemble the design of an iPhone X, maybe some of 11. Then we have our interface. The visible apps we have is the Messages app or WhatsApp app, a parody of WhatsApp. We have our Contacts app, Snapmatic, and a unknown app, maybe email or Life Invader. The Snapmatic app has received a large upgrade. It seems there's going to be a lot of focus on social media aspects such as live streams, video shorts like Reels, and such things like that we saw in trailer 1. Moving on to more attention to detail, we have muscle deformation, which a lot of us heard when trailer 2 came out. As you can see, when Jason moves, his muscles also move. There's a scene where Brian's bracelet can be seen pushing down his arm hair. Crazy attention to detail. Here's something really interesting. A detailed arrest scene is happening with several suspects being held and the police talking to bystanders. You can see down the street a criminal duo from which one is surrounding while the other attempts to make a run for it. The police have split their focus accordingly. All of these highlight the new improvement law enforcement behavior hinted by multiple world events from the September 2022 leaks. One of my favorite ones, which is safe house renovation. We can see Jason's Key Lento house in multiple different phases. In one of the scenes, it seems uncompleted, and in another scene, it seems pretty progressed, which means that there might be safe house progression or safe house customization. It's kind of similar to the camp customization from Red Dead Redemption 2. And that is it for today, guys. So I skipped out on a lot of things which I deemed uninteresting, like brands, weapon attachments, character details like rings, tattoos, etc., or even detailed information about each location. Since most of the people aren't really interested in the smaller stuff and other smaller attention to detail things, which we may already know, or other smaller attention to detail stuff, which I thought you guys might not find that interesting, or we already know. So I've skimmed out the most interesting parts of the document in this video. You can read the full document, links down in the description. A huge shout out to the GTA community and everyone involved in this project and other projects. This is seriously amazing. If you watched the video, thank you. If you skipped to your favorite parts, no problema. Thank you. But if you liked the video, make sure subscribing, liking, commenting, and maybe sharing with your friends, helping out. So see you in the next video.